Breaking the Stigma. Why involuntary commitment can be compassionate for mental health. Imagine seeing someone you love trapped in a nightmare they can't wake up from. Except it's not a dream, it's their mind. This is the reality for families dealing with severe mental illnesses like schizophrenia, where the person often doesn't even realize they're unwell. For years, my brother has lived this struggle firsthand. He drifts between emergency rooms, jail cells, and the unforgiving streets of Los Angeles, unable to accept that he needs help because his brain won't let him see it. And here's the heartbreaking part. Our current system does little to intervene. But what if changing that could save lives? As a neurologist, I've seen countless patients who lack awareness of their conditions. From strokes that leave them paralyzed, yet convinced they can walk, to dementia that erases memories while leaving behind confusion and fear. In these cases, we don't hesitate to step in. We act urgently, compassionately, and sometimes without consent, knowing that the brain itself is preventing rational decisions. Why should serious mental illnesses be treated any differently? Yet too often, they are. Recently, President Trump issued an executive order addressing crime, homelessness, and untreated mental illness. https www.statnews.com 2025-24 Mental Illness Trump Executive Order Involuntary Commitments. Among its directives is the call to remove individuals with untreated psychiatric disorders from public spaces and into care, including through involuntary treatment when necessary. Some critics label this approach controversial, arguing it infringes on personal freedoms. But consider this. Is it truly freedom to allow someone to deteriorate physically and mentally on the street, untreated and uncared for? Or is it neglect masquerading as liberty? Let me paint a clearer picture. My brother, despite being intelligent and once full of potential, now spends his days shouting at invisible enemies and scavenging trash bins out of paranoia. These behaviors aren't choices. They're symptoms of a devastating illness. And contrary to popular belief, such illnesses are treatable. The problem isn't the absence of solutions. It's the failure to implement them effectively. Programs like California's Care Court sound promising on paper, but frequently fall short in practice. They drag on endlessly without enforceable measures or adequate resources, offering hollow promises instead of tangible help. This brings us to a sobering truth about deinstitutionalization policies implemented decades ago. While closing large psychiatric, people living on the streets, isolated despite crowds around them, represent one of society's darkest failures. President Trump's executive order presents an opportunity to course correct, but only if we approach it responsibly. Simply removing people from public view without providing meaningful care risks repeating past mistakes. True progress requires more than new laws. It demands a genuine commitment to building supportive systems. Picture facilities staffed by trained professionals offering long-term, evidence-based treatments rather than temporary crisis beds that dump patients back onto sidewalks. Imagine empowering families and clinicians to intervene early, balancing urgency with respect for individual rights. Critics argue that involuntary treatment is coercive. But isn't untreated brain disease the ultimate form of coercion? When my brother refuses food for fear of poisoning or screams at shadows no one else sees, he's not exercising free will. He's held hostage by his own mind. Modern medicine has tools to alleviate his suffering, but those tools require access. Without a legal framework enabling intervention, even the most innovative treatments remain useless. And this is the part most people miss. Untreated mental illness isn't just a personal tragedy. It's a societal failure. Every day we delay action, another family watches their loved one slip further away. Or do we embrace a future where compassion drives policy, ensuring that everyone, regardless of insight, receives the care they deserve? The answer lies in your hands and in ours. Refusing to act is abandonment, plain and simple. Let's choose reason, responsibility, and humanity instead.